Hello sweet soul and welcome to another travel yoga class. Today we're going to enjoy a gentle heart opening Vinyasa class and we're going to get started in a child's pose. Come to the bottom of your mat, bringing your toes together, your knees as far apart or close together as feels good, letting your hips sink towards your heels and letting your heart and forehead melt towards the floor. Connecting with your breath right away, arriving on your mat and becoming present in the current moment. On your next inhale, lengthening your spine, maybe walking your fingertips further towards the top of the mat, and on your exhale walking your hands over to the right side. Maybe you can clasp your left hand on top of the right, grounding your left hip into your heels and really stretching into the left side body, sending your breath into your left rib cage. On your next exhale, returning back to center, inhale to lengthen and exhale to walk your hands over to the right side, finding your variation of your side stretch. Just making sure to ground your right hip this time into your heels. Your next exhale, returning back to center, and then start moving in small spinal waves, but staying in your child's pose. So on your inhale, starting the wave at your tailbone, and then slowly exhale when the wave moves towards your head. Doing a few small waves of these in your own time, trying to stay connected with your breath, and whenever you feel ready, expanding the waves from child's pose to tabletop, or even further from child's pose to upward facing dog. Make these movements feel good, move with intention and love, and enjoy what today's practice can offer you. Feel free to move really slowly here. Now stopping your wave in your upward facing dog, stretching out your core and your heart space, shoulders back and down. Your glutes are engaged, you're pressing through your hands, your wrists are right below your shoulders. I always enjoy coming onto one side of my body, stretching out the sides once more, and then the other. But feel free to follow your heart and what your body wants. Take what you need and leave the rest. Now coming back into your tabletop position, your wrists are below your shoulders, your knees are hip width apart. Inhale, lifting the right hand up. Exhale, thread the needle, right palm is facing up. Maybe you can rest the right side of your head on the mat, feeling a nice stretch through your shoulders and a gentle spinal twist. Maybe you can pull the right hip a little further to the right side to square out your hips a little more. Getting ready on your next inhale, pressing yourself back up, lifting your right hand once more. Exhale, return back to center. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, thread the needle, left palm is facing up, finding your variation and your depth, maybe pulling your left hip a little further to the left side to straighten out your hips once more. Getting ready, inhale, pressing yourself up, exhale, right away walking your hands to the top of your mat, letting your heart melt towards the floor, finding your puppy pose. Trying to keep the hips right above the knees, maybe bringing your forehead or even your chin onto the floor. Keeping your arms and shoulders engaged and really opening up your heart space. Keep breathing here, even if it's a little more difficult. On your next exhale, rolling forwards into your swings pose, one vertebra at a time. Your shoulders are right above your elbows, your hands are pointing forwards to the top of your mat, fingers are spread wide, grounding your thumb and index especially into the floor, pulling your shoulders back and down and opening your heart space. Whatever you do, make it feel good. Bringing your hands on each side of the mat, coming onto the fingertips, elbows stay pointed upwards to the sky. Inhale, rolling up into your intuitive intimidation style cobra. When you arrive at the top, pulling your shoulders back and down, opening up your heart space, looking forwards or up. And on your exhale, melting back onto your mat. On your next inhale, coming into your upward facing dog. On your exhale, pressing back into your downward facing dog. Your feet are hip width apart, your knees can stay bent. Start bending one knee at a time, walking out your dog. Your sacrum is energetically pulling towards the sky and your heels towards the floor. Gazing in between your toes, pushing the floor away from you. Widen your stance, but narrow the distance between your hands and feet. Exhale, bringing your right hand on the outside of your left ankle. Inhale, return back to center. Exhale, bringing your left hand on the outside of your right ankle. Exhale, returning back to your normal downward facing dog, and start drawing big circles with your entire body. Inhale, coming onto your toes, rolling forwards into your high plank position. Exhale, bending your knees, pressing yourself back into your downward facing dog. Inhale to high plank, exhale to down dog. If you want a deeper practice, you can again come from downward facing dog, roll all the way forwards into your upward facing dog, and back. Returning back to your normal downward facing dog, then bringing your weight onto your left foot. Inhale, raise your right leg up into your three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, pressing the floor away from you. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Once more, inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Now keeping your leg up, exhale, coming into a three-legged plank, transferring to a side plank, trying to stay controlled here. Then bringing your right foot behind you, and on your next inhale, expanding up into your wild thing. And maybe you can place your right hand on your heart space or grabbing onto the right lower leg. Enjoying your wild thing here. Now slowly coming back to your side plank. And then pushing yourself back into your downward facing dog. We'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Inhale, raise your left leg up into your three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. One more. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, moving forward into your three-legged plank. Coming through a side plank, slow and controlled, and finding your wild thing. Finding the variation that you enjoyed most today, and keep breathing. Now slowly coming back to your side plank, then to your high plank and coming through one Vinyasa. Inhale, shift forwards over your wrists. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, shoulders back and down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then dropping your knees, bringing your toes back together and finding another child's pose to catch your breath. If you want to play a little more around, inhale, slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, coming up onto your knees. Exhale, melting back down into your child's pose. This might look weird, but it feels so good. A couple more, moving in your own time, or finding something completely different that your body's asking for right now. Finding once more a gentle child's pose. You again have the option to stay here now or come into a camel pose with me. Coming up onto your knees are hip-width apart, your toes are in a straight line behind you, tucking your pelvis, engaging your glutes, engaging your core, shoulders back and down, bringing your hands, fingers up or down above your glutes, bringing your elbows towards the back of your mat. On your exhale, maybe look up, opening up your heart space, and maybe leaning back a little bit, finding your variation of your camel. On your next exhale, slowly coming back out, head comes out last, and then grabbing onto your heels, bringing the crown of your head on the floor, lifting your heels up, finding a rabbit pose. If you want to come into another camel, go for it. Maybe you want to play around a little bit or staying in your child's pose. If you want to play with me, coming back up onto your knees, either having your hands above your glutes again or maybe this time on your heels for a deeper camel. And if you want to come into an alien camel kind of thing or just want to play around and try it out, aim to bring your hips towards your heels while still looking back. And I always enjoy bringing the hands in prayer above my heart space, but you can do something completely different. I'm literally just offering you suggestions. Whenever you're done playing, finding another rabbit pose, bringing your hands onto your heels, the crown of your head onto the floor, and then lifting your hips up, finding a juicy counter stretch for your camel pose. Whenever you feel ready, let's meet back in a child's pose. Finding as long of a rest here as feels good. And whenever you feel ready to finish your practice, slowly roll up into a comfortable seated position, one vertebrae at a time. Wrapping yourself in a love-filled self-hug, really giving yourself a squeeze, and maybe staying here for a while. Enjoying a couple more deep breaths. Inhale, bringing your hands up and over, maybe look up, maybe your palms can touch. Exhale, bringing your thumbs to your third eye. May you have thoughts of wisdom and clarity, lowering your thumbs to your lips. May you speak words of kindness and truth, and bringing your thumbs to your heart space. May you feel and give the love that you truly deserve. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through today's practice. The love and light in me sees and honors the love and light in you. Namaste.